Davis Show is proudly presented by Dave and Buster's.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Marty Watts, co-host of the Fred and Marty Show on 101.7 The Team every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. And hey, thanks for coming on, Marty.
Well, thank you for having on. Since I work for you, he doesn't tell you I sell advertising and marketing for Proview besides what I do on FM radio with ESPN. And since anybody's watching, we're sure looking for more sponsors to come on the air, and we've got a great package. But if you want to call us here at Proview Network, please call us. We've got a great season coming up, 160 basketball games, and plus we got the playoffs, the volleyball. We got all sorts of great stuff coming up.
Well, you know, that's men and women, or boys and girls. 160 games, but it's just, it's 2 more weeks of football, and we're in the playoffs. And I think basketball's first game is like around November, mid-November, right before Thanksgiving. So
people just don't realize how important Proview Network is to this community, because if you go around the United States of America, and of course we hadn't done a very sophisticated research on this, but there's very few metropolitan cities of 300,000 or more that's doing all these high school games and all these sporting events. And I don't think there's hardly anybody in the country has a 24/7 sports station. Now there's places like Chicago, New York, they have Comcast, they have their own Comcast sports shows there, but obviously very few places are doing high school basketball games, football games. Maybe in some city they might have the game of the week and that's it. But what we do, 700 live events, plus we do all these TV shows. I mean, we got an incredible network. And what's incredible, Steve, is people can come on and buy a package. They can get on for almost as $1 a 30-second spot if they buy a yearly package with us. So we really do a great job. Of course, where else in the world where we're helping these kids? I figure there was 50,000 kids playing sports, and we're involved with probably all of them. They have 2 parents. They have, 2 grandparents? It's incredible.
I'm saying sometimes they have multiple marriages. I mean, they have, 2. So there's a lot of
yeah, and so what's incredible about this journey, and I've been with Steve for 3 years, and I enjoy doing the FM show on Saturday mornings. I think we're on the air for 5 years, and of course I come in with just a cup of coffee and I just shoot the breeze on sports. I do study, I do look at the paper and figure out what's a good subject to talk about. But for the last 8 weeks, Steve has been coming on talking about high school football on Saturday mornings. We come on at 9 o'clock on 101.7 FM. Steve comes on and talks about the Friday night games. We talk about the Lobos. We do talk a lot about women's sports, and that's another thing that I don't see on a lot of these TV shows. They're not talking women's sports as much.
Well, you know what?
And we do.
And like I said, that you guys do an unbelievable job. Marty and Fred. It's the Fred and Marty Show, and it's. You guys kind of got me hooked, so I kind of listen, and helps me keep up with really what's going on or what to look forward to during the week. So now, with James Yotis, what an unbelievable job James Yotis does with the limited amount of space that he has, and then reading what he has, and then what y'all provide, and then and then what Proview Networks does. We hit all cylinders.
Yeah, we only have about 47 minutes, or if you count all the commercials. But what's incredible is that we get a lot of stuff in from that hour. It's almost like a religious experience. Thank God I've been saved by the Baptist 7 times. But with that, it's like with Proview and ESPN, it is a religious experience. And that's why we've got one of the greatest operations in all of America. And getting back to this point, I cannot find, if you go to Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Tucson, San Diego, San Antonio, Austin, Texas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Denver, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City, Portland, Oregon, the Bay Area. Nobody is doing 700 live high school events and sporting events. Nobody. As a matter of fact, this coming Friday night, we're doing 3 football games from 3 different arenas, 3 different play-by-play guys, 3 different color guys. Matter of fact, that's why Friday night's a long night for you, Steve. It's a long night for you.
Well, it's what's amazing for me, seeing how this thing has evolved for the last, this is our 10-year anniversary too. People, this is 10 years, and if you really think about it, we've probably done, 7,000 events in 10 years, so or more. Really breaking it down, and it's neat to, what we used to have, because of APS schedule and everything, and Rio Rancho, most of the games were on, our Saturday and Sundays we were basically off. Sometimes there was some Saturday afternoon basketball games, but with the difference of, the different districts changing, schools, Clovis coming up and travel, so a lot of games are played now on Saturday. So now it's basically Tuesday through Saturday that we have live sports, and then of course you mentioned Yaffle football. It just finished Super Bowl last week, but that's been 8 straight weeks of 2 games a day. 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then we had the Super Bowl games that we went at 2 different stadiums, and we did 12 games in one day.
That's incredible, and that's why anybody's watching the Steve Davis Show today, if you ever thought about advertising, getting involved with families and kids, and of course we're involved with college sports now. We're doing Lobo baseball, Lobo volleyball, Lobo soccer, and of course we're involved with cheerleading, the cheerleading events and everything that's involved with sports. I'm hoping that we pick up some more events, but we need more people like our present advertisers. Some of our advertisers have never left us. Some of them have been with us 9 or 10 years, and when they realize what we do, and of course we give them a platform. They can come on our shows. We interview our advertisers at halftime shows. We do a lot of stuff to really promote their events. Of course, we'll go out and do live events and put it on Facebook. Our website alone during the basketball season gets 30 to 40,000 hits. So people come up, and so we have so many opportunities for people to get involved. And what you're really doing, especially if you buy signage for the football stadiums, most of that money's going to the Albuquerque Public Schools or Rio Rancho and Los Lunas. But I'll tell you one thing, there's a need for us in this town, and we're hoping that the city of Albuquerque is going to get more behind this. They've done a great job so far, but we're hoping for bigger and better things. And so I'm so proud to be part of this whole operation. If it wasn't Steve Davis, they don't give you enough credit, Steve. I mean, in some ways, it was a miracle that you put this thing together for the last 10 years.
Well, we're going to come back, and we're going to go to the Dream Style remodeling top 10 plays of the week, and then we're going to come back and talk more about Marty Watts.
Well, there's not much to talk about me, but.
And Bars is at the 35. He's off to the races, and Colin Barr scores. Touchdown, El Dorado. No, it wouldn't be. El Dorado would be. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Here's a good run by Kaide Jones down the right sideline, and Jones is going to go to the house. Touchdown, Sandia.
pass down the middle and look out at Schreier. He's got some room and a blocker in front. Off to the races, down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown.
Great throw by Mr.
Very dominant unit back to pass plays. Here comes the pressure to the end zone.
Schreier was looking to throw. Picks his head up and he throws an interception last second. This is going back the other way. Pick six. Touchdown.
Trips at the bottom. Just willing to get a nice miss a tackle. Another miss to the 40. To the sideline. And he is dead. Nobody's close to that.
That's intercepted. It's picked up and there's a lot of room. It's a foot race. To the 20, to the 15, and no one going to catch him. Pick six. Touchdown. Atrisco Heritage. And who is it? It's Angel Ramirez.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Dave & Buster's is your destination for fun. Eat delicious chef-crafted food. Try sizzling favorites and new creations from our talented chefs. Drink the coolest cocktail creations. Play the hottest new games to win awesome prizes. And watch all the games in the best sports bar ever. Only at Dave & Buster's.
Hoops NM Basketball Center is coming soon. 10 full courts broken into 2 wings for ultimate basketball and volleyball play. Locker rooms, a lounge area, a pro shop, and a full snack bar will all be a part of a great experience. Convenient parking and access will make the Hoops NM Basketball Center a premier facility for league play and competitive regional tournaments. With over 9,000 square feet, Hoops NM Basketball Center will take court sports play to another level in our community. Courts are regulation high school size with wood floors and seating for approximately 350 per court. Major sponsors and supporters are being assembled now. If you're interested, contact Dan Serrano at 505-249-7994. Send him an email, hoopsnm@aol.com. That's hoopsnm@aol.com. Hoops NM Basketball Center, a premier sports facility serving our community.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We have Marty Watts, co-host of the Fred and Marty Show, 1017 team, and salesman for Proview Networks. And I want to touch on one thing, before we left off there, Marty, was that, we just went over 1 million viewers on YouTube. So, people, they say that's a milestone that I've been waiting, it just snuck up on us. It was like this summer we had 950,000, and all of a sudden last week we checked it, I think we're 1,003,000.
So can you imagine, we got 1 million viewers on YouTube. We just went over that. Our audience is getting bigger. People know Proview. It's now obviously there's people who are not involved with high school sports or the sports scene probably never heard of Proview.
Well, anybody that has kids in athletics, and this is statewide or whatever, usually know who Proview Networks is, and that's over the last 10 years. And then the million viewers that we've had on YouTube, I think we're over 2 million with, just unique hits.
Right.
And I don't have those exact numbers, but I know we're on the good side. It's more like 2.5 million. And if you really just break those numbers down, there's only 1.7 million people in the state of New Mexico. So if you break it down like that, half the people in the state have watched Proview Networks.
Now can you imagine if you were a local business in this town and you're on a tight budget, let's say this, and you just don't have a lot of money, but you can't afford Channel 2 or 13 or 4, those rates are high, or even trying to get on cable television, it's very expensive. We all know that. But you can come on our network, you could have a big presence for less than $1 a 30-second spot if you go with us on an annual plan.
Well, and let me explain why that's the deal. Is because we do a live game, and just say you have two sponsorships per game. Okay, just say, and we're doing, and just like we do 3 games. Say we're going to do 10 games a week, minimum. Okay, that's minimum. Okay, so I looked at our schedule and it's actually more like 14. But just using
let's just say 10 games a week.
10 games a week at 2 commercials or two sponsorships. That's 20. Okay, that's 20 spots. And one of those is live. Okay, and then all of them are aired. And then they're re-aired 3 to 4 times during the week.
Yeah,
so all of a sudden, that goes to be, you're looking at 80 spots in 1 week, which,
So you come out to, it comes out to about $1 a spot if you go on our monthly plan. But here's the thing is, the local business guy can come on our shows. We can interview him at halftime. Now just think about it. Starting in November 21st, we're going to do 160 basketball games going into the state tournament. And
that's not including the state tournament.
No,
now the state tournament won't be on Comcast Channel 26, but we're still going to be putting them on the NFH channel, which is 84 games in 1 week.
And it's incredible.
So basically, we're doing 240 games in the next 3 months. I better go get some rest. You're already wearing me out now.
And we're going to replay this. So we're going to do the Academy basketball tournament, the Los Lunas tournament, of course, the ones over in Rio Rancho. We do the Metro. We always do the Hope Classic. And you talking about, and this town loves basketball, and if somebody wants to get involved with us, they can come on. We could do courtside interviews. We could really, now talk about advertising, it's spaced repetition. If they hear you enough times, see you enough times, becomes people's part of their subconscious. If you want to be part of this sports community, we can open a lot of doors. We know everybody involved in sports. We're going to be doing Lobo baseball. You can get involved with that. What a better ambassador in this town sports than Coach Ray Birmingham. And we're involved with that, and we got the volleyball. I mean, I just can't believe, if you really want to get involved with the best buy for your money and really want to get involved with these families, Proview Network's the place. Now, what's incredible, Steve, is we don't get any public finance funding. We're doing this all because of advertising, our agreements that we do, but we have to fight every month to keep this thing going. But if it wasn't the advertiser we have have now, we wouldn't be able to do this.
It's sponsorships, so the word is sponsorship.
Sponsorships, that's the right word to use for public access television. But but it's incredible. And when I was growing up here in Albuquerque, I went to high school at Sandia, and I grew up as a kid in grade school and junior high. Can you imagine if we would have had this kind of network when I was growing up, to be able to watch all these sports? And I go back to some of the greatest games I ever played in this town, but can you imagine if we would have had that on video, we could go back and do a highlight film of some of those great games in the 60s and 70s?
You know, let's just take, and you have some stories, let's just take, Super Bowl weekend, and in the week before that, we did the semifinals, and the week before that, we did the quarterfinals, okay? So basically, we did, I think, 16 regular season games, and then we did 12, let me do the math, so 28. I think we did 42 games for Yaffle this year. And we didn't do the consolation, okay, bracket, okay, and actually we got emails because we didn't do it, okay. So my point is being economics is what we're about, and we can do those games, but instead of people complaining that we're not doing them, we need support to do them.
Well, yeah,
okay?
We need more people, and we're so cost effective. Anybody can afford Proview networks. Now, going back to Yaffle, this is the 51st year Yaffle football has played their finals, and I actually went to the first game ever played in the championship game. The Bears beat the Cowboys.
So I didn't think you were a day over 51.
No, it was. I was in the 8th grade, and unfortunately, I didn't play in the first season because my parents didn't get me registered, or I came in too late. I couldn't get on a team. But on that,
so you've been holding that against your parents all these years, huh?
No, matter of fact, maybe it's been better. Maybe I'm glad I did start in the 9th grade because I wasn't very big in the 8th grade. I was this little kid. But I will tell you, in that first game, what made it so historical, one of the players on that team was Tommy Jewell, who became, he went to Manzano High School, and he went on to UNM Law School and became one of the first black judges, African-American judges, and he played in that team. And so was Kurt Arnett, who went on and played AAA baseball, played for Del Norte. Remember Gray DeBrock, Victor Smith. Now, what made that first game, that championship game, in those days there was no African-American coaches, but there was a young coach named Willie Goldsmith who really wanted to coach in the APS, but he didn't get a chance. For some reason, I don't know what, you remember, this is during the civil rights era, and black coaches got overlooked, But he decided to coach this team called the Bears, and the first Yaffle, and that was his starting break as become a coach. He ended up becoming the first African-American APS coach for Valley High School. But I remember Willie Goldsmith, and he got a chance, and they won the championship. So, and Yaffle football has brought in some great players. Bobby Newcomb, Ray Bars, some of the great players, Mike Carter, all these great stars, all started at Yaffle football. And think about it, we did the Super Bowl, we did every game and we did 2 games every week for a total of 50 games.
It's pretty amazing, but it just just ask you can ask Josh Brown back that's doing our directing right now. I mean, it just went by. It started and it's gone.
And now we've got youth basketball coming. We got all these high school games. We still got, I think, a couple more local soccer games and volleyball games left.
Well, what we did, I think there was 19 total men and women's soccer games and volleyball. So I think you're right. There's a game this week. So and those are delayed by 1 week. Mountain West, we do them live on the Mountain West channel, and then we get to re-air them 1 week later after the deals, which is really, it doesn't take away from our high school presence.
Yeah, here I'm going back to this theme. Where in the United States in America, now if somebody wants to call in and give us an example, where in the United States this coming Friday night is doing 3 high school games from 3 different stadiums on one network. Now you tell me where that's happening. I know it's not happening in Arizona. I know it's not happening in Colorado.
Well, you know what? There's two trains of thought here. Okay, yes, there's schools that are streaming, and then there are towns that do. Maybe I'm sure Dallas and all them. They're doing multiple games, but it's not a local channel that's putting it
right, the local channel.
So you're talking two separate things. You're talking streaming and TV, and what we do is we stream 3 games one day. We can only put 1 game up live, and then we rebroadcast those other games. Sometimes immediately after, if we have the right equipment in the stadiums and we have the manpower to do it. We'll put them up right at, we'll put them up at 11 o'clock. Like the game's over at 10, the next game will start at. So we have done that, but most of the time they're up the next day.
We're like the little locomotive red machine that does a lot. We're pulling a lot. We don't have a lot to work with. Financially, we do the best we can. Obviously, if we got more sponsors involved, we could do. There's new technology out there that we could do some live events using Wi-Fi devices, but we're coming along. We've come a long ways, and if you would have saw us 10 years ago, what a big advance that we've done.
You know what? We're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna come back and kind of talk, a little bit about the history of Proview for the last 10 years.
And people should know where we've come from to this day.
All right, we'll come back and we'll pick up right there.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Looking for some exhilarating fun? It's at All Out Zone. All Out Zone showcases Nerf dart tag games from team elimination battles to human versus zombies, pitting 2 teams against each other in fun, organized chaos with trained referees, music, and a full arsenal of Nerf blasters. You need team parties, birthday parties. We can customize the party to fit your needs. Visit us at the Coronado Mall. Give us a call, 505-444-6964. All Out Zone.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Duke City Sports Bar, proud supporter of Proview Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. Catch all the sports action from high school, college, pros, and MMA on one of our 35 HD TVs. Start your night off right with any selection from our delicious menu prepared with fresh, never frozen ingredients. Duke City Sports Bar, Albuquerque's newest sports bar. Located on Eubank and Montgomery, dial 505-433-4020.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
VR Junkies is a virtual reality arcade. We specialize in all things VR, from the simple phone-based headsets to cutting-edge full-body motion systems. Check us out at the Coronado Mall. VR Junkies.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape. To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts, like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service. And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time. Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Marty Watts, and you know, I'd like to hear your where you heard Proview. When the first time you heard Proview Networks?
Well, you know, I live over by Cibola High School, and I was driving over to the Starbucks there by Cottonwood Mall, and I think it was it had to be in the late fall, or it was 2007, because I just moved back from Chicago. I was working for an IT company, Microtech. And for some reason, you came on the air, and maybe it was on 610 Sports Animal, maybe it was on ESPN 101.7, one of those stations, I can't remember, but you came on and started talking about this thing that you're streaming the games, and you really was trying to get this thing off and running, and it was a little struggle, but you're getting people behind you, and you came on. That's when I first, now I knew, just so you know, I knew about you back in the days when I was at UNM, when you played for the Lobos, and I used to, people don't realize, this guy is the greatest country and western dancer of all time. I used to go to places like what was the place called? The country Graham Central, and then there was that place, that big warehouse called the Country Warehouse. It was all these, anywhere there was great country and western dance, and he was there, and he always had the best looking girls. I was kind of jealous, and he was the greatest country and western dancer of all time, and to this day he's still a great dancer.
Well, thank you. I just was going to say, you say was, and that's in past tense.
No, he not was, he is. And there's something about, if anybody out there watching the show and you're a young guy and you're still single and you want to meet women and love, there's nothing better than being a great country western dance, because girls love guys who can dance.
And you know, the best place to go is Dirty Bourbon, and so that's the best country western place to go dance.
Now, I wasn't a bad
and probably in New Mexico.
I wasn't a bad dancer myself, but you know, guys like me, we become legends in our own mind. You know, we think we're good, but not as good as you. But anyway, I knew about you, and then I would run across you once in a while, but we were never that. We weren't great friends back in those days. We just knew each other, but I didn't get involved until I got involved with Proview, and I got to know you and found out what kind of class act you are. But yeah, that back in 2007, why don't you tell us how you struggled to get it to the network it is today?
Well, there was two things. One was, you know, if you look, you know, first of all, look how the internet has evolved or progressed in the last 10 years. When we first started, you know, we were working off the laptop, basically laptop. It was the most simplistic thing to do, and it was just so amazing. And even to this day, it's, you know, with a live internet plug-in, a hardwire, you know, a laptop, a camera, and a mic, and guess what? You're on air. Okay, well, when we first started, you know, and the other thing that's evolved too is the graphics, okay, and the graphic designs, okay. If you really looked at, I think Josh put some, you know, we during when we're slow, we break down and we put some of the classic, you know, some of our games back in 2007, you know, and up to 2013, basically, and if you look at it, you know, it was To me, I love negativism, okay? Because when we first started, first of all, it buffered, okay? I mean, that was, and the laptops weren't ready for it. They couldn't stream it fast enough, so the megs weren't strong enough to get it streamed out. So it buffered, and so people were complaining. We get emails saying, we can't believe that, that it buffered, and I just kept thinking to myself, well, then don't watch it. That was my, and I actually, I said, well, then, if it's so bad, it's free. We're doing this free as a public deal, or don't watch it, or help support me and get it better. Okay, so I made out of the negative, I was trying to make a positive out of it.
And with that saying, APS stepped up and brought in hard.
And that was actually, and I always tell the story, was that. So the first thing that there was, it wasn't all me. So first of all, it wasn't Steve Davis. In fact, this company's not about Steve Davis. It was a lot of people that had visions and passion for high school sports and just sports in general, and the community of Albuquerque. So. J.D. Healy was involved at the time. Now he's moved on with the NFHS, doing a great job with the NFHS channel and living that dream. And it was so tough. It's still tough. I mean, the reason it's tough now is because we're doing so many games and everybody expects us. And this guy here just doesn't like to say no.
Well, it's like that. It's like that Virginia Slims cigarette commercial. We've come a long ways, baby.
Right.
And we have, like Virginia Slims, long ways, baby. Now, with that saying, is that, Steve, you don't give yourself enough credit. I mean, because I don't think we would not be here without you hanging in there. We've had some ups and downs on this journey today, and we're getting better every year. When I started 3 years ago, we were still having some buffering problems. Now, once in a while, when you do see it,
there's about 97% chance everything's going to go right now. I think, I don't even know that we might even be higher than that. If you look at the games this year, I think maybe we've had 3 games or so that were buffering. Even today, we still, and that's I started trying to explain to everybody. Well, guess what? NBC and CBS, they have the same problems too. Okay, yeah. So it's and they're on a little bit higher budget than Proview.
Yeah, the only reason is the internet, for some reason, went down for a lapse. Now, in order for us to do a great streaming, we got to have 15 to 20 megs going up. Now, most of the places we are able to get that. But there's times when something happens, it drops, and we do get a little buffering, not much. But I think this year has been our best year. I mean, every year we got better and better and better. And
there's a lot of reasons that we got better this year. One, and I want to go back to the moving parts that I always remember talking with Kenny Barreras and gave him my vision that. He wanted to do 1 game of the week, and that wasn't my vision. I said, well, let's do. I feel that let's do. Football's pretty. Let's just do all the home games at Wilson, Milne, and Community. And he bought into it. What him and I didn't realize was that the streaming got better. HD, we have HD cameras now. We didn't have HD cameras in the beginning. Okay, so that was another knock on Proview. We're a low budget, deal. Well, I said don't watch it. I said, okay, we're so bad, don't watch it. And if you remember, think about this. When we first started, we didn't have a clock. Okay, that was another complaint. We were getting emails. Hey, you guys would be first class if you got a clock. And then we got a clock. We figured out the technology, the graphics got a clock. And then the next thing was, I'll never forget. Well, you know what? You don't have instant replay, or you don't have instant replay. So you're still a low budget. You're little guys with Mickey Mouse guys. Your guys are deal and
people don't realize a good instant replay machine is about $20,000, and now we've got a machine, but we don't have enough of them, and
that's what we're working. Again, that's all that. And like I said, everybody goes, they were all saying, well, we'll watch more of it. Well, who would have ever thought? I mean, truthfully, that we'd be on my 50, we'd be statewide. I mean that, and if you go back 3 years ago, that was, the technology wasn't there 3 years ago to do this, okay? And the internets weren't strong enough to push out in HD. And if you look at, what my 50, and you put our broadcast against ESPN, yeah, there's a difference, but there's not that much of a difference.
Oh, well, and we're getting to the point where we hope the city of Albuquerque is going to give us more support, and we know that the two new mayors that are running for office, they love us. They love what we're doing for the community, and I think we're going to get more support.
Well, I think who wouldn't love? I mean, I'm just saying, if you're sports minded, I always keep that deal, and the representation that we have with APS, there's 90 to 100,000 students, plus I think how many people that are employed there. Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, the private schools like Hope, Academy, Manal. I mean, Sandia Prep. We've done all those games, so that's pretty amazing. You're actually making me think. I'm actually feeling good about what I've been doing all these years.
And we have to give credit to guys like Bruce Carver from Rio Rancho, Kenny Barreras from APS,
Wilson Holland down in Los Lunas.
I mean, without their support, and thank you, Kenny, thank you, Bruce, thank you, Wilson, because without your support, we can't do this. And we're getting more advertisers. We just picked up Dream Style Remodeling. I mean, Larry Chavis saw the big picture. He sees, and of course, we've got Larry and Dorothy. They own the Frontier and Golden Pride. They've been with us forever. Sadie's. We've got Napa Auto Parts, Car Crafters. We got to give them a lot of credit. They've stuck with us. So we've had some advertising, and we're looking for more to get involved with us. And we're at the point right now, I believe, with this new mayor coming in, they're going to help us. And we think 2018 is going to be even better. Our goal is to get the station up to 1080 resolution, but right now we're doing great for what we have, and people need to realize here's a little operation 10 years ago, and where we are today.
Actually, I didn't even talk about. We're actually in a little office building, and we had no green screen. We
had nothing.
We had, and you look at where we're at, and again, I want to. You public, let us, come in and ride their shirt tails a little bit, and they gave us Channel 26. So, there's a lot of things have evolved.
I mean, I couldn't believe. No wonder you had to go to church twice on Sunday in those days, just to pray to get us through. But we've come a long ways, and the fact that we've got 160 basketball games coming up, we still got 2 weeks of football coming up, plus the playoffs. And boy, what a great season this year for football, Steve. We really don't. I mean, I can't say, even though Manzano's #1, but we think the top 4 teams, any one of those teams can win it. As you know, every one of these teams are fragile in depth-wise, so if a key injury hurts a team, might not win it, but it's going to be a great playoffs.
Well, somebody asked me the other day. Actually, it was Chad Adcox. I mean, it was not.
The coach from Manzano.
Yeah, it was like, what's the deal about 1 and 2? I mean, because we have, or 3, depending on how people are looking at it. And this is going to be people coming up, depending on what Max Preps and what the coaches poll is what's going to happen between Cleveland and La Cueva to see who's #2, and really all they're playing on that part is who gets the home field.
Oh yeah.
But what my other point, and we're really kind of missing out on the other point, is we've got great football just right now. Los Lunas and Berlin. I mean, that game's coming up in 2 weeks.
No, that game is on November the 4th, Saturday, 1 o'clock. We're doing the big
And if you're going to
game.
go to the game, you better go there. They're going to open it 2 hours before, so you better go to the game at 11 o'clock, or go over to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Now, talking about a traditional game here in the Rio Grande Valley, that's one of the oldest rivalries in all of the metro area.
We're going to hold that thought because we're going to come back.
Yeah, we got to get back.
We got to take care of our sponsors, all right?
Boy, do we have a lot to talk about.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters!
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Dave & Buster's is your destination for fun. Eat delicious chef-crafted food. Try sizzling favorites and new creations from our talented chefs. Drink the coolest cocktail creations. Play the hottest new games to win awesome prizes. And watch all the games in the best sports bar ever. Only at Dave & Buster's.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Marty Watts, co-host of the Fred and Marty Show, 1017 The Team, top salesman for Proview Networks, and we've discussed a lot so far. You got me on a roll.
We're talking about this journey of Proview. It's been 10 years. We're at our 10th anniversary, if you don't know. And every year we've gotten better, and we think up and coming in 2018 is going to be better. We know the city is really sold on us, and they're going to get more involved with this. And we're so lucky that you public was able to give us a studio and gave us a chance to run Channel 26. We thank them for giving us that opportunity. But what we've done is we've made.
And I want to welcome anybody that wants to come down and take a tour. It's kind of impressive what we have. It's a nice. We're on 519 Central, and we're. It's between 5th and 6th. It's northwest, and come down and everybody likes to give a little tour to see what we do, and then also see how much we get accomplished with very little manpower.
And think about it. We're down here on 6th and Central, right down the street from the Chemo. And what we're going to try...
And Lindy's Restaurant. I got to throw them out.
We got Lindy's Restaurant.
And we got that little Chinese place down there. The kitchen.
We got the men's hat shop next door to us. We've got, what's the place next to us?
I always mess up on the name of it. So the restaurant is...
What? Yeah. So with that saying, what we're going to try to do for the city of Albuquerque, we're the only TV studio on Central, downtown. We're in the heartbeat of Albuquerque, and what we're going to try to do is, if we get more funding, more advertising, we're going to go around and promote these local businesses around downtown. As you know, the art project is almost getting, I think they've got, 2 months left for this art project for the bus system. And I believe...
Be careful on that, okay?
I know it's controversial, but it's about to get done. And hopefully it's going to make the city more vibrant downtown. And of course, we're looking to help these businesses out. We're willing to go out and do little segments so they can have a Facebook page and promote their business. But we want to help.
And we know what? We did a lot of that with the Dream Style. I mean, and by the way, Josh, while I'm talking about this, we can actually air that show. So we need to promote it. and do that while I'm doing my show.
So
here.
we have a documentary of the Sherry and Silver and Sherry home show that Dreamstyle Remodeling put on.
Silver and Cherry.
Yes, Silver and Sherry.
Cherry,
okay. Home show. But with that saying, we interview all the vendors, and we did a little couple-minute segment so they could put on their Facebook page, and that shows we're not going to tell you what's going to. The show's going to come back in April, and we'll let you know in our future shows some of the promotions we're going to do. But the one in April is going to be a big one, and we're going to bring some big events there. But we'll announce that later down the road here. But the show has a great beginning.
Well, it does, and that's one thing about Larry is he learned a lot from this. How to get, just because it's the deal, it needs to get people in the doors. And then we got some new things coming. We got some new ideas, and if we can get those down, people will be coming through the doors.
Oh yeah, this show in April. If we get the things that we're going to try to do, you will be wanting to go to the show because we're going to bring some events where you'll want to be there. But that's something that's in the future that we're going to announce. We're putting it together right now, but. All these things we're doing, and that's why downtown Albuquerque is so important, because we want to go around and help these small businesses out, let them know that there is a TV studio downtown. We're part of the whole network down here. And think about it, where else in the United States that I know of, maybe there's a few places. I know in Chicago on Michigan Avenue, Fox Television has a studio downtown, but very few places have that, and we have it right here.
Well, and it's so unique because you just don't know it's here. I mean, people, even when it's amazing how many people, even though you tell them the address, they can't find it. And then they walk in and then they see the way the building's structured and the way what we have in here is pretty unique, and it's actually fun to come to work. Once you get into find the traffic sometimes a little bit tough, but once you're here, it's actually being downtown actually has been fun for me.
Well, like I said, it's a religious experience. You come down here and you meet so many people, and we bring so many new guests in our shows. Now, right now, Steve, we have 7 viable shows right now on Proview.
Well, let's kind of see if I can do them off the top of my head. We have Red Menace, we have Steve Davis Show, we have the Sports Desk, and Sports Desk, Scott Gleddy hosts that. Steve Davis is what I do here, and then we have Proview Weekly, with Adam Dill. We have DC does a boxing show, the Legacy Boxing Show. We have the Legacy Church Show. So right there is 6, 7, and then
Life Sports in New Mexico.
And Dr. Joe's making a comeback, so he's going to be starting here and doing one. I do believe one every 2 weeks. I think bi-monthly or once a month. He's coming with that, and then we have the Rusty the Clown. I mean, so actually, the more I think about it, I'm sure we forgot somebody's, but.
Well, if somebody's watching this show right now, one of the shows.
Oh, you know what? We forgot about motocross.
The motorsports, New Mexico Motorsports with Dave Swope, and what a show that is. Now that was your idea. I mean, you kind of made that thing happen. Well, what happened was that show comes on at 8 o'clock Saturday mornings on the radio, and Dave's been he leads up to my show at 9 o'clock on ESPN, and I was so impressed with the way Dave ran that show. And one day I said, why don't you think about doing that same show, keep your show on Saturday morning, but do a TV show? And we put it together, and that show's really coming on. The New Mexico Motorsports Show talks about all the NASCAR races, all the stuff that's going on.
Special guests like the Unsers come on. Every week they seem to have a
Kim Guthrie from Car Crafters, who was a famous Indy 500 driver. Now, here's something. If you're watching this show right now, and if you're a doctor, or you work for Presbyterian, or you've worked for Loveless, or any medical group, or if you're an orthopedic surgeon, we want to do a show called Sports Medicine of New Mexico, and we're looking for somebody who will want to come on, and we need a sponsor for the show, but we want to bring in sports medicine that relates to sports, and it's a show that I think is needed here. And if somebody's watching this show and thinks it's something they
can what I think it is to educate the layman like us on injuries and medicines to
medicine
take,
and CTE, the head injuries, and
have a professional present it to where in layman's terms.
Now, I brought this up to some medical groups, and so far nobody seems to jump on it. But I just believe it's a great show because we're involved.
Well,
with
actually,
50,000
Dr. Joe is doing it. He's doing it. He just doesn't. He's one of those guys that, he plays baseball and does all these things, and we get him for maybe 6 months of the year. But his show's more about vitamins
and supplements. But we want to do a sport, so that's something we'd like to do. If you're watching this show and you want to call us at Proview.
Well, anyway, anybody that wants to do any show, okay, or anything. And one thing I did, we haven't talked about Proview. We do get, we're getting programming from eastern New Mexico. We're getting programming from western New Mexico, and we're actually we have blocks of time to air things that are across the state that to promote our athletes that do stay in the state. And
we're hoping that we can do some live football games and basketball games if we get enough sponsors for eastern New Mexico and Highlands. And we're working. These are the things we want to bring in 2018. There's so many things we can do, and that's why it's so important that we have a station like this where we're involved with the community, the kids. And I can't believe it. When I was a boy growing up in Albuquerque, there was only like 2 little leagues. There wasn't that many things to do. And now these kids can get on television. It's so incredible. You played that Yaffle Super Bowl and the little boys are on TV, the player of the game. Maybe we're building them up too fast, too quick. But what an opportunity that we're giving to these kids in this town.
And the thing about it, it's just fun. I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of headache, but it's fun to be able to talk to and talk sports with families, and I've met so many people and stories, the things about the Iraq War, people, the whole 10th, platoon, getting to watch a kid from Berlin playing the state championship. You get those kind of letters, or grandma or grand that's in the hospital, or all of our stuff is at Presbyterian Hospital is on a channel that we have there. So cause I couldn't figure out where people were watching this, because most sports people, I get it, they're on DirecTV or they're on Dish, or but there's we have 200,000 plus subscribers to Comcast, which is about 1/5 of the metro area.
And all our shows, our TV shows, are on our YouTube channel. Proview Network's YouTube channel. You can go up there and watch the shows anytime after they're recorded. Obviously, you can go.
And they're archived, so you can go back and watch all these games.
You can go up to the National High School Network and watch a replay of a game if we don't replay it on Channel 26. So of course, you can always buy a DVD tape from us for any games we do. So, like I said, this is a wonderful place in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we have almost 50 hours of programming a week, almost 24/7 sports. Where else can you find something like this? And we do appreciate the support of Dave and Buster's, all our advertisers, the Barley Room, Geckos, all these people that's been involved with us, and some of them have been with us for almost 9 to 10 years.
Well, that's pretty much, you go back, the Barley Room, Scott Bollinger, and I'll never forget going in and talking to him, and he's going, oh, here comes another guy, one who's got a vision, and we were just talking, it was like, it's amazing where this, because he can actually put it, without the computer, he can put My 50 up. Every establishment in Albuquerque can put My 50 up and support high school football.
We have guys like Mike McLean, who owns Extreme Cleaning. He gets it. He knows what we're doing, and he appreciates when he advertises with us or sponsors with us. So we have people, and of course, Wally Manoli, who I've known since college. He saw the big picture, and you're right about
Wyndham, we got Anthony Wild and what they're doing.
And look at this, the Wyndham Hotel, it was Hotel Castada. They just got bought out by a new ownership about a year ago, but the new management group came in and they called us and said, look, we really want to get involved with you guys and be part of your network.
Well, you know what? We got to, you know what, Marty, we ran out of time. We thought we were going out of time. You ran out of time. We just have to have you come back on, and we'll pick up on our new sponsors on the next show.
The next show. But anyway, God bless this network. That's all I can tell you.
All right.
The Steve Davis Show is proudly presented by Dave and Buster's.